Hey everyone, MI Gamers here. Wuthering Waves have been out for a month and been playing it since the launch of the game. So far I'm enjoying it, even though there's some bugs here and there, but I believe Kuro will fix it eventually. For those who have played this game, I believe you have noticed that this game has a heavy influence from the Chinese culture in terms of game design, storytelling, and even the weapons itself, right? And today's video, I'd like to talk about how this Chinese culture influence, especially I-Ching, can help us to predict how this future development of Wuthering Waves story and also character that's gonna appear in the future. I'd like to put on a disclaimer before I proceed any further. This content here is purely my personal speculation without any direct info from Kuro, so don't use this as a proof or content to tell other people that, oh, we're gonna get this character in the future or this kind of story in the future. No, it's all pure speculation. But let's have a discussion because it's pretty interesting. Now let's lay out the foundation first. What is I-Ching that we speak about here, right? The I-Ching is a Chinese philosophical theory that's been developed since the ancient China and is used to explain all the phenomena that's happening around the universe. Alright, and they use this a lot in their daily lives and even in political governing as well. Okay, one of the famous things that you can see from I-Ching is this 8 trigram or with the Tai Chi logo in the middle. I believe you have seen this in one of our characters inside this game, which is this girl over here. Yeah, this girl, famous Tai Chi girl. Alright, so this 8 trigram, you can use it to talk about a lot of things. And you can talk about time, directions, seasons, a lot of stuff, right? But for this case, I'd like to focus more on two aspects, which is the direction and also the what I call that, the elements inside this 8 trigram. What does each trigram is actually representing? So first off, let's look at the direction itself. So in I-Ching, when we talk about direction, it actually links towards the feng shui. And when we talk about feng shui, there's one famous phrase that people always use. And this phrase is actually used to depict the 4 directions, north, south, east, west, with the 4 celestial beings. And the Chinese saying goes this way: 左青龙，右白虎，前朱雀，后玄武. So if you translate that into English, you have it like this. Left, you have Azure Dragon. Right, you have White Tiger. Front, you have Vermilion Phoenix. And the back, you have the Black Tortoise. Okay, you're not seeing things wrong on the screen. For this case, you need to take note that South is actually the front because South is actually more auspicious. So up to this point, I believe you already guessed that Azure Dragon and Vermilion Bird has connection with some of our characters in the game. Right, let's talk about the Azure Dragon first. Azure Dragon, which is our Jue, the Great Dragon in this game, and it's actually have heavy connection with our General Jian and also the next character, Jingxi. Then next we have the Vermilion Phoenix or Vermilion Bird, which is having a connection with Changli. It's not stated in game and not shown yet. I'm actually guessing this based on her name and also the design of the character itself. So if you look at Changli's design, she has a lot of this vermilion bird feather drawn on her body. And even her dresses also actually having in the red color, which is pretty resemble to the vermilion bird. So if you look at the 8 trigram again, the south location, the south is actually having a character of Li, and this Li is actually the same character with our Chang Li. The Li is actually the same character here. Alright, and south side is actually representation towards the Vermilion Phoenix. So she's very clearly is actually linked to this Vermilion Phoenix. Actually, we only have the third celestial creature appear in the game since the beginning, and that's our Black Tortoise, right? If you look at the Chinese description of this Black Tortoise, it's a giant tortoise with a serpent living at the back of its shells, and they live in the extreme cold weather of the north, and they are aggressive towards intruder. And this description fits perfectly with our Balborn design. Right, even the environment of Melbourne is actually very chill. You see a lot of ice everywhere. But that's not all. Kuro is actually taking more from the 8 trigram. Alright, let's look into the element aspect of the A trigram. So if you look at the A trigram, each of them represents something on its own, right? And each of them has their own name as well. So let me read it to you. First, follow off with the Chinese way of reading. You have Qian, Kun, Zheng, Xun, Kan, Li, Geng, Dui. Alright, you don't have to remember everything that I said just now. What you need to take note of is the translation of it. Right, I translate everything. Over here, if you look at the screen here, each of them is actually representing something. Some of them looks familiar to you. Yes, it's actually the elements that we have in the game. There's 8 of them here, but 6 of them is actually pretty clear we have direct connection. 2 of them I'm not sure. They might be using it in the future, I'm not sure of it. They might be using it to represent something else, right? So let's talk about it first. Water, thunder, wind, fire. That's very clear, right? Water for this case is not purely water, it's actually the ice element, right? Thunder, you have Kakarot, our Yanlin, yep, the other thunder. Wind, Qian is wind, Jianxing is wind. Fire, you have, what is it, Cixia, right? And Montefi is fire. Earth and heaven, for this case, is actually not directly translated to we'll call it chaos and the spectral. But if you look at the earth and heaven, it's actually the yin and yang itself. So for the heaven, it's actually 3 yang, and the earth is actually 3 yin. So for spectral, it's actually the yang side of the thing, and the we'll call it the chaos is actually the yin side of the things. So that's why I put heaven and earth as the spectral and chaos over here. So all this under now is actually giving more proof that Kuro is actually using I-Ching and the 4 directional celestial beings as the reference for their game, right? Even in the next patch of release, is actually pointing towards that direction. Let me show you. So just now I mentioned about the 4 direction, right? 左青龙，右白虎，前朱雀，后玄武, right? And there's actually one more in the middle is actually Hanglong, right? In this game, the place that we're actually playing right now is called Hanglong. Even though Hanglong is not the same Hanglong, the Chinese character, the pronunciation is almost similar, just that the character is not the same, right? But if we take that as the reference, that they are taking the map that we have right now as the center of the location, and whatever is going to appear in the future might be following this direction, right? Let's look at the next patch. So in the next patch, the new location is actually appearing in the southeast side of the map, which is the Mouth Firmament, right? Even though the location is southeast side, generally it's still the east side because the east side is actually covering the entire stretch. It's formed by 7 different stars. And that's a genius move to actually put it at the southeast side, because if you look at the 8 trigram again that I showed you just now, right? The southeast side, what does it represent? It represents wind. And what does GM power represent? Wind as well. And where does its power come from? From Jue. So Jue actually has 2 power. One is heaven and one is wind. Alright, so if it's putting at the exactly east side, right, it doesn't make any sense because it's thunder over there. We might have another creature over there in the future, I'm not sure. But putting at southeast side, it's actually all fit perfectly well into this 8 trigram over here. Another thing about this east side, if we look at the season, is that this east is actually representing the spring. So if you look at the English posters over here, it's talking about the toss of eons, right? It's actually signifying the coming of spring, right? So meaning that this patch is actually a brand new start for this whole story. So up to this point, I will lay out to you that there is a clear link between this I-Ching and what is actually happening in this game. It's very obvious, everything is linked together. So if Kuro is actually using this concept, we can use the same concept to actually predict what is going to happen in the future. So first of all, let's talk about all the possible new area that's going to appear. So for me, what I think is that we might have at least minimum of 4 additional ones, including the next patch that we're gonna get for this 1.1, right? So the mouth movement, without a doubt, is gonna be on the southeast side of the map. How about the south side, which is representing the vermilion bird, and the west side representing the white tiger, and the north side representing the black tortoise, right? North side, without doubt, you have land over there. They just have to open the area for you to go in, right? The south side and the west side is actually surrounded by sea. But if you go into the game, as what I did over here, let me show you the video. If you go into the game and you look at the south side, uh, you're gonna see lands over there. So eventually, those lands will actually become your new map in the future, which is for the vermilion bird, celestial being. And the west side, you also have some things over there. All right. If you go to the where the Inferno Rider is, if you look into the west side, you see land over there. So in the future, you might have additional celestial creature that appear, especially a white tiger. Till now, it hasn't appeared yet, right? So the white tiger that appear in the future might be the enemy, because for this case, there's always yin and yang. The dragon and the vermilion phoenix is actually the yang side, and the yin side is actually the white tiger and the black tortoise. All right, the black tortoise is yin for sure, right? And the tiger right now, if he's actually a yin, you might see some of the back character that we have in the future is actually linked to this white tiger over here. Kuro might put a twist that they use this white tiger for something else, but I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, the white tiger will appear one way or another. Either it's a good one or the bad one, right? Some of you might think that, hey, Ling Yang is already there. He is actually linked to a tiger. No, Ling Yang is not. Ling Yang is actually a lion instead of tiger, right? Ling Yang, the creature that Ling Yang represents is actually Swan Li. It's not tiger. So put Ling Yang out of the picture. I would think that Gersuling, the general before Jian, could be taking the white tiger celestial being position, right? I mean, there might be a white tiger behind that, but Gersuling might be representing that position, right? Why do I think that? Because in the Chinese ancient description, the white tiger and the green dragon is actually always fighting each other. Even in Feng Shui, they talk about this fighting between these two celestial beings. So, with their story being played out so far, Gersuling might be the white tiger, which is in the opposite position of what Tian is, and they fight with each other. One more thing that I actually need to bring back is actually in the beginning of the story in this Wuthering Waves, when you read Yang Yang in the George of the dragon, Yang Yang did mention about there's 7 Sentinels in this region, right? And Jue is actually one of them. Yang Yang did mention that the 7 Sentinels resembles one another, and Jue is only one of them, right? Let's look at the 7 sets of stars that form this Azure Dragon, right? The first one is actually Jue, which is the same name as our dragon that we have here in this game right now. So I bet that in future, the other 6 of the dragon in this game that's gonna appear is gonna use one of this name over here. It can be dragon, it can be something else. I'm not sure yet, but I believe they're actually taking this direction over here. So they might use other stars name for the different sentinel name in the game as well. So aside from just the dragon side, you still have vermilion bird, the white tiger, and also the black tortoise. Each of them has a different set of stars. So at the end of the day, you have a lot of different sentinels from different regions, and that's gonna be huge thing. So this game has a long way to go. Since this game has a huge influence from the Chinese culture, I myself believe that it is best to play this game in Mandarin if you understand Mandarin, because a lot of things you can't really translate to other language directly. You might lose some of the elements in it, right? Uh, but if you don't understand Mandarin and you want to play a game, it's still okay. Just that you might miss something that's not really visible if you use other language to convey it. All right. So I will encourage everyone, right? If you can understand Mandarin, go for it. Use Mandarin. That's the best experience we can get. All right. So that's all for my speculation until now. So I believe that if we follow this I-Ching, we might be able to predict what Kuro is going to play out in this game in the future, right? What do you think about it? If you have any other theory or you think that some of my explanation or description is in this game using this I-Ching is just wrong and needs some verification, please do tell me in the comment below, right? And yeah, if you have other theories that could prove or support what is going to happen in the future, yeah, please do share with us in the comment below. So if you like this video, please do give me a like and subscribe. You'll give me encouragement to do more of the same type of video in the future. And if you have anything that you wish to talk about this game or any other game in the future, please do leave a comment below. I'll look into it. Alright, that's all about it. Have a great day and see you next time.